is adoption, and many of our foster parents do adopt.
You brought some photographs with you, which we want to put in. This is called the Moving Hearts Gallery. And tell us about what this means, the Moving Hearts Gallery.
The Moving Hearts Gallery is a gallery showcasing our children that are ready to be adopted. And these children, we have no identified adoptive person for these children. And many of these children, as you can see, are either singles, meaning they need to be adopted by themselves, or they're with their siblings. And we're really focusing this year on children who need to remain and be placed and adopted with their brothers and sisters.
As we look at these photographs, what do you tell people out there who may be contemplating or may not have contemplated being a foster parent or an adoptive parent? What do you tell them?
I show them the pictures. I think they speak for themselves. These are happy, wonderful children, and they have done nothing to come into our system. It has to do with their parents, and they deserve permanency in a forever family. They're wonderful children. They go to school. They're just like everyone else's children, but unfortunately, due to circumstances, they've been abused and neglected.
Somebody out there is saying, well, maybe I can be a foster parent. Maybe I can even be an adoptive parent. I know somebody is saying that right now. How do they begin?
Well, the first thing that they do is they call our recruitment line, which I believe the number will be put up on the monitor. And they call, and we start talking with them. We have a conversation. You have to be 21 years and older, and you have to be stable. And the first thing that we do is we talk to them about our children, about themselves. There are classes that have to be taken. There are 36 hours of training, and once the training has been completed, and we have it on weekends, evenings, we try to make it as perfect as we can for people, depending on their time availability.
There's a phone number on the screen. It's been up for in the last few seconds or so. We're going to keep that up for a while because this is an important subject we're talking about. 216-881-5775, and that's to get more information on the Cuyahoga County Department of Children and Family Services if you're interested in the foster care program or in the adoptive program.
Absolutely.
My aunt and uncle, Irene and Morris Bibb, over the years, they're both gone now. God rest their souls. But they adopted children, and they were foster parents for decades, made all the difference in the world in the lives of these children who came through their home.
It's life-altering for them.
I saw them as my cousins, and still see them as my cousins.
Absolutely.
Some of them were still in touch.
Well, that's why we say it's a forever family.
Yeah. And certainly the two who were adopted, they are my cousins. I run into them all the time, and we have just a wonderful time when we get together for family gatherings and things like that. This is life-saving stuff we're talking about.
Life-saving.
What is it do you want us to keep in mind? If you could take a minute or so, what is it we must keep in mind when we talk about the number of children who are in need of foster care homes or adoptive homes?
There are so many people out there that haven't thought about fostering. And I think if they would just look at our children, call us. Everyone has a place for a child. And if you can't be a foster parent, maybe you can be a volunteer or a mentor to one of our foster children. There are so many things that people can do to help our children. And it does take a community. My agency cannot do it by ourselves. It takes a whole community to help these children.
And we want to help these kids certainly before they age out of the system. At 18, some of them never get there.
Never
to where
get
they need
there.
to. And they are troubled. Many of them become troubled because they never got to that home they needed to be in.
The statistics are not good. When children age out of our system, many of them wind up either in prison or homeless. We don't want that for anyone. We have to do better.
We're talking about saving lives, aren't we,
We're
Deborah?
saving lives.
Gandhi said, if you save the life of one, it is as if you have saved the life of the world.
Absolutely.
That works, doesn't it?
It does.
Deborah Forkas is director of the Cuyahoga County Department of Children and Family Services. You may call her or someone on her staff at 881-5775. More information on everything we've been talking about. You've seen the youngsters' pictures. These kids are crying out to you, asking for help. Right, Deborah?
Absolutely. Thank you so very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Please
Good to
call.
have you on the broadcast.
Thank you.
Be well, my
It's a
friend.
pleasure. Thank
Be
you
well.
so much.
Be well. Log on to newsnet5.com each week to see what's coming up on Kaleidoscope. Up next, it's all about parliamentary procedures. We'll talk about that in a moment. Welcome back to more Kaleidoscope today. The National Association of Parliamentarians is the largest nonprofit organization of its kind. Dr. Frank Williams and Pat Cook are members of the national organization as well as the Cleveland-based North Coast unit of parliamentarians. They are talking this morning about the organization and about training individuals in parliamentary procedures. Pat Cook is the past president, and Dr. Frank Williams is parliamentarian of the North Coast unit of parliamentarians. Good to have you. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
First off, let's begin, Madam Past President, if I can use the terminology.
That's fine.
What is a parliamentarian?
A parliamentarian is an individual who understands procedures to be used correctly in a meeting. Most parliamentarians use Robert's Rules of Order as their basis of procedures. There are other authorities, but we understand how meetings can be conducted in a way that protects the rights of the members and in a way that the meeting is efficient and satisfies the needs of the organization.
So that the business gets done.
The business gets done in an orderly way.
Dr. Frank Williams is parliamentarian with the North Coast unit of parliamentarians. I mean, everybody knows knows about parliamentary procedure in your organization. What is it that intrigues you about the North Coast unit of parliamentarians? Why did you get involved?
This is a local unit of parliamentarians that's roughly 25 years old, and it's a monthly meeting that we attend to improve our skills in parliamentary procedure.
Give me an idea of parliamentary procedure, how we can, if there's a disagreement on the floor, how do we keep that going so we can talk about the disagreement, but we can get the business done? What would we do that?
There is a procedure that says one motion at a time, and you discuss one until it's corrected or as you want it, then you move on to another.
To the next one.
The idea is to discuss only one item at a time.
Do we see this used in government, Pat Cook? Do we use Robert's Rules of Order or somebody's Rules of Order in government?
Absolutely. Robert's Rules of Order is meant for what we call in our profession a deliberative assembly, more a voluntary type group. But in the legislature, there are other rules of procedure, and so the United States Senate and the House and all state legislatures use their own legislative rules, which are different from Robert's Rules of Order.
Other people may want to become involved. I mean, certainly I was at a meeting last night where we used Rules of Order.
Right.
We had to do some voting, the men sitting around and the group of members are sitting around in the fraternal organization, and we had to use somebody's Rules of Order to get the business done. What if people would like to join your organization? What do they do, Dr. Frank Williams?
They come to the Beechwood Public Library on the third Monday, 6 o'clock, and we meet every third Monday, and we will welcome them into the unit.
And you talk about running efficient meetings wherever you are. Let's put a phone number on the screen for more information. 216-577-1960, as you see on the bottom of the screen, or you can go to parliamentarians.org, parliamentarians.org. Is this vital, Pat, that we have some sort of rules so that we get the business done, the business of government, the business of our social organizations?
I think it is. I can't tell you how many times I've been approached by individuals who say, my meeting went so long, we didn't get done what we came there to do. I'm not satisfied. There was a lot of argument going on and bitter feelings. I think when you have an established set of rules and people understand what those are, and you have a good presiding officer who protects the rights of the members, that's really what it's about. If I come to a meeting, I expect to be able to participate, I expect the presider to run a good meeting, and I expect business to be accomplished at that meeting. And all those things can be accomplished if you have a set of rules, a set of procedures that everybody has agreed to and that are maintained by the organization.
Frank Williams, do you have to call for order? You're the parliamentarian of the North Coast unit of parliamentarians. Now, do you have to call for order in your meetings?
Actually, the parliamentarian's job is to advise the president. So we provide the president with information that he or she may need to conduct the meeting.
When we are watching C-SPAN sometimes and we see our government going on in Congress, sometimes there's a call for more information from the parliamentarian. Is this correct procedure? Do you notice little things like that?
Yes, actually, as parliamentarian to the unit, you're supposed to notice everything that's happening and advise the president as to how it's handled.
So your doors are open to anyone who would like to come in and learn parliamentary procedure or talk about parliamentary procedure and help their fraternal organizations, their whatever going on, anywhere there is a meeting. Your doors are open for that, right?
Yes, we encourage anyone to come.
And when do you meet? Which Monday do you meet?
The second Monday. Third Monday, I'm sorry. Third Monday at the Beechwood Library. 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Give us a final thought. Take about 10 seconds and say why this is so vital to you.
It's vital to me because I am a person who belongs to a lot of organizations, and my time is precious. And when I attend a meeting, whether it's just as a member or as a leader, I could be a committee chairman or I could be an officer, I want to make sure that our work is done well and we protect our organization and our member rights.
Frank, if we're all arguing over a point, we're not getting anything done, are we?
Absolutely.
We need some procedures.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Cook, who's past president of the North Coast Unit of Parliamentarians, Dr. Frank Williams, who's a parliamentarian with the North Coast Unit of Parliamentarians. Good to have you on the broadcast. 577-1960, as you see at the bottom of the screen. More information, you can reach these good people. Thanks for being on the broadcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
I feel that we have remained in order.
Yes.
We'll cast the vote after this. I got to take a break.
Thank you.
Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope today. Drug Awareness and Prevention Incorporated has partnered with law enforcement and other local organizations for what's called Operation Medicine Cabinet. The director, Nancy Pomerening, and the captain of the Westlake Police Department, Guy Turner, are here to talk about this event, which takes place on May the 8th. Good to have you with us, Nancy, and Guy Turner, Captain Guy Turner. Tell me about your organization, Drug Awareness and Prevention Incorporated. What do you do?
What we try to do is we try to lessen the demand for illegal substances and their use among our young people. As a retired teacher, it became very obvious to me that our young folks need to stay away from this stuff.
Yeah.
And as a teacher, former teacher, prevention is key to me.
And drugs are all around.
Drugs are all around, absolutely.
So, Captain Turner, good to have you with us as well. Now, what's your role in this? I know you see people using drugs and they get in trouble selling drugs and all of that. But you've got something called Operation Medicine Cabinet. What is that?
The insidious thing about prescription drugs is they're in your house already. You don't go out on the street to buy these. The problem with them is if you're not using them, they're a temptation to your children, to your grandchildren, to their friends. Operation Medicine Cabinet is designed to give you a way to get rid of them in an ecologically safe manner. A lot of people want to flush them down the commode. That's very unsafe and it's bad for our water supply. If you will come to one of our 42 locations, we will take them off your hands, we'll catalog them, and then the ArcelorMittal steel mill will burn them up for us.
What happens if we were to flush them down the toilet? You see people talking about that all the time. I just threw them down the toilet. I wasn't taking them anymore. What happens when that happens?
What happens is they end up in our water supply, and we are finding more and more medical substances in the water supply. No one has yet quantified how much is necessary to have a bad effect, but it is very concerning that we drink our water and old medicines are floating in there.
So you have a relationship with the Westlake Police Department, your organization and the Westlake Police Department.
Yes, we do.
Now, what's going on? What happens with this relationship?
Well, what happened is, I have to give the Westlake Police Department kudos. The Westlake Council of PTAs did the first Operation Medicine Cabinet 2 years ago. And as a person looking for ways to prevent young people from taking part in experimentation, we decided that we had to find proactive strategies that were easy for folks to do. And this is something that's very, very effective because we are discovering that prescription medicine abuse is the fastest growing trend among our young people. They perceive these pills to be safe because a doctor prescribed them. They're prescription medicines. They don't understand that they're very dangerous.
Captain Turner, what you want to do is get these old medicines that almost everybody has in their medicine cabinet, get them tossed out and get them taken to a safe place where they can be discarded properly. What kind of safe places are we talking about? I know you guys you've got drop-off locations.
If you live in the city of Cleveland, you can take it to any of the district police stations. If you go to the website, drugawarenessandprevention.com, there's all the drop-off sites are listed. If there isn't one in your community, there's one nearby. We have 2 in Westlake. If you come from, if you have to come to Westlake, we would be glad to take them from you, because our job is to prevent crime, and if we can prevent a tragedy or prevent a crime, that's what we'd like to do rather than lock somebody up.
And simply drop them off at a police station. You
Yes.
can do that too, and you men and women who work in the police station will dispose of them properly.
Everybody will be expecting you on May 8th.
I know on May 8th, Saturday, seeing that we've got Westlake here, Clegg Park Cabin, that's at the northwest corner of Clegg and Hilliard. You can walk in and drop off your medicines. That's on Saturday, May the 8th. Or you can go to the Westlake Fire Station, which is at 2110 Columbia Road. That's another drop-off
That's
location.
a drive-through. If you have a mobility problem, you'll pull right through the fire bay, and we will take them off your hands.
What prompted you to come up with this idea? Had it gotten out of hand?
It's getting out of hand. What's happening is young people have probably experimented since the beginning of time. But what's happened is prescription medicines are so much easier to get your hands on now. They're prescribed more than they ever were before. And young people don't understand the consequences. Taking a prescription pill today could lead to a serious addiction problem down the road. In fact, what's interesting is some of our law enforcement partners are telling us that as a result of opiate-based prescription medicines like OxyContin and Vicodin, young people, when they can no longer afford to buy the pills on the street because they're $1 a milligram, which is quite expensive, they're turning to things like heroin to get that same effect, which is even more dangerous because you don't know what's in that.
We got to stop it early. I got 30 seconds remaining. Captain Turner, tell me, how are these medicines destroyed?
They're collected by law enforcement officers at each of these sites. They're boxed up, sealed, cataloged, and we've reached an agreement with ArcelorMittal. All the police agencies that collect these will get together one day, take them down to their blast furnace, and burn them.
Okay. May the 8th is your special day, but I would imagine people can turn these medicines in anytime.
We would prefer that they would do that rather than put them down the commode.
And go to any police station probably in the area, right? And your fellow officers in other departments, they know what to do with them as well.
Yes, we'll take them off your hands.
Okay. Thank you so much for being on the broadcast.
Thank you for
You are
having us.
saving lives. You know that.
We're trying.
And keeping people from getting hooked on things they shouldn't be hooked on.
Thank you very much for having us.
Certainly. Nancy Palmer-Enning is the Director of Drug Awareness and Prevention, and Captain Guy Turner of the Westlake Police Department. Good to see you both.
Thank you.
Sir.
We've interviewed Guy Turner many times on many different subjects on things that happen in our area. I'll take a break. I'll be right back in a moment. Always ready with a comment. Your friend and mine, Marcia Maccabee, CEO of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.
Hi, Leon. How are you?
Okay.
Good. Leon, today, in the midst of all that we hear about young people getting into trouble, getting into violent acts and so forth, I have some kudos for young people today that I'd like to share on air. I want to give a shout out to a group of young people at Glenville High School who are in a program of the Urban League called Project Ready Aspire. And these students are actually collecting pennies for a purpose. And they're collecting from the staff and students of the school all the loose change that they can to support SAM, which is Stopping AIDS is My Mission, which is a part of Antioch Baptist Church's program of the Agape Ministries. And these young people are doing a phenomenal job. And not only are they collecting the money, but they are also talking about the need to have awareness and the need to be proactive in this arena.
Isn't that wonderful what they're doing at the school there? Just collecting pennies, huh?
Collecting pennies and any loose change, and the staff is supportive, the students are engaged and involved, and we're very proud of them for what they're doing.
You know, pennies add up.
They sure do.
If I could get everybody in the nation to send me a penny,
I know,
we're talking some money now.
You know, that might be a fundraiser for the Urban League.
Everybody send in a penny.
Yeah,
You
there
like
you
that?
go. I
Just
like
send in
that.
a penny. Everybody has to do. So you really, this is what you want these kids. You've been encouraging them all along. That's another mission of the Urban League, is to bring up the young people, to encourage them to be great citizens.
And to give back and to be concerned about issues in our community.
Well,
Absolutely.
Thank you for letting us know about that.
Absolutely.
And tell the kids we say we're proud of them too.
Will do.
Thank you, Marcia. That's going to do it for Kaleidoscope. So long.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.